Hi everyone! Around 3 months ago, I reviewed a brilliant Falcon Eyes Flex Roll LED light, and around the same time I started using this SO-28TD model, but I haven't really spoken about it until now because I don't really like reviewing products that I haven't used enough. But now that I've used this on a number of jobs and I've got lots of experience with it, I think it's finally time to take a closer look at it. As with any of my reviews, let's first take a look at what is included with this light. The light itself comes in a pretty decent bag, it's padded, it has a strong zip, and so far it has protected the light really well without getting all worn out. Inside the bag we have the actual light, a couple of instructional leaflets, and a power adapter with a pretty long cable. So the Falcon Eyes SO-28TD is a bicolor edge-lit soft round light. It produces 28 watts of power coming from 120 LED bulbs strategically placed inside the light to create a really even soft light. Something that you usually expect from a softbox, but without adding the bulk of the softbox, the light itself stays really thin. The downside of this is that you can't remove the diffusion to get a little bit more power out of it, but I usually use all of my LED lights with some sort of diffusion or softbox anyway, because that avoids the potential multi-shadow problem. So this setup works for me really well. At the back of the light we have the touch panel with all of the controls, and lots of good controls in here. We have the brightness control, and it's currently set at 1%, and that can be adjusted from 0 to 100 in single digit steps. The left side dedicated to color temp from 5600 all the way to 3000, which is very useful because sometimes you want to go a bit lower than 3200 to match your practical light sources. On the top right we have the battery indicator, which is actually pretty good. It shows the battery level pretty accurately, so you can really tell when your battery is about to die. And on the top left corner we can choose the channel. I'm actually planning to get a little remote for my Falcon Eyes so I can do all of the adjustments from my camera position, and this is what this channel adjustment is for. Other than that, we have the DC power input, the switch between the battery and the mains power, and of course the NPF battery slot. So the 28TD is actually the smallest light in this range, but for me it's a perfect size because I already have a bigger key light in a form of the Falcon Eyes Flex Roll. Whenever I use these two lights together, they match really well, and this is when I use this light as a backlight. I've used it in such capacity on a few jobs already, and it has done really well for that. I also used it as a backside light on one of my recent videos, which is the $1000 Carl Zeiss Mini Cine Set Buyer's Guide. So check that out, see for yourself how well it has done. But you can also use this light as a key light. Absolutely no problem with that. I've used it as a key light on a number of occasions as well. For example, very recently I've done a convention shoot where I was given a tiny corner at the stand where I had to do my interviews, and there's no way I could put up a big Falcon Eyes Flex Roll in there because it would take up too much space and there would be a danger of someone tripping up on it. So I had to get this light out, put it next to my tripod and use it as a key light for my interviews, and actually it has done really well for that. I had lots of compliments for the producer. The photographer on the stand has taken some pictures kind of stealing my lighting, and he showed me the results and he was really happy with the results, and he was asking all sorts of questions about this light. So really good impressions from other people, and it's always a great thing on a professional shoot. Another occasion where I used this as a key light was actually in my previous video, which is the giveaway announcement. I've used this light as a key light for that because I just wanted to put up something quickly for the announcement video, and it has added some really nice light to the overall setup. Without it, it looked much worse. So I do use this light a lot, especially when I'm not driving and I need to carry a light with me. It's decent size. I can battery power it, and I did battery power it on this recent convention job, where it actually lasted almost all day on one big NPF battery. So that's really good, you know, no cables, no danger of anyone tripping up on cables. Really happy with that. But of course nothing is perfect, and this light has some of its own downsides, and I want to go through those too. First is the build quality. I think most of the light is made out of plastic. This part is fully metal, which is good, which is what holds the light, but I'm not 100% sure about how it will withstand the test of time. So far, zero problems, but whenever possible, I like to have as much metal on the light as possible. Just kind of gives me that peace of mind. Other thing is that screw right there, it comes loose all the time and light starts to wobble a little bit. It's not a big deal, and I know there are hacks to keep screws in place, and maybe I need to sort it out, but again, it's a little thing that is not quite perfect, that could be improved. And lastly is the power connection at the back. It's very consumer, I don't know how to call it, but in contrast, I much rather have XLR style or limo style connections that lock in place and you can't just pull them out by accident, where with this light, if you catch the cable with your hand, it will just come out. So again, something that could be improved on this light. I think even on bigger version of this light you have better connections, so maybe something that Falcon Eyes should bring down to their smaller lights as well. But other than this, it's really nice light. It has lots of power. I'm at 1% power right here. If I go to 100 or start going towards 100, let's have a look what's gonna happen. Complete blowout, and that's almost 100. So better come back to just 1% is all I need, and the light quality out of it is really good colors, but I don't want to keep it subjective, so I've compared it to a few of my favorite lights, so you can judge it for yourself. Firstly, the brilliant Aperture LS1, which is a much more expensive light, so it's not a direct value for money comparison, but more of a general light quality comparison. And the second light I've compared it to is the FilmGrear Lightmate S, which is a much closer competitor in terms of price, size, power. But basically the purpose of this test is just to give you some examples so you can judge the results yourself. I don't want to tell you which light is the best, but this particular light is certainly really good in its own right. It stands its ground, it has some of the very nice unique features. It obviously has some little downsides as well, but overall I think it's great value for money. It's definitely a light that is staying in my kit for a long time, along with my flex roll light. Currently it's kind of a 2-light kit, so I need to add a third one in there so I can use them with the same remote, so all of them have exactly the same colors. But for now, this is all I wanted to talk about, and if you enjoyed this review, please give me a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, make sure to press that notification bell to be notified of the new videos, because there will be many more, including lots of gear reviews, lens tests, giveaways and all sorts of other good stuff. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you in one of them.